That's like the opened up the settings, which is kind of funny. It's been a while. Believe me when I say this, I was actually planning, like I said, on continuing. And I am level 37, and I started playing a day after launch. This game's a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. Mostly just from like the negativity I've seen of it online. Then I played it. It's fun. What is this game? What am I talking about? Arknights Enfield. I've heard of Arknights. And then I looked at, I was like, fuck, when was it? It was a while ago. I was like, you know what, I need a new mobile game to play, because I'm bored out of my mind. I heard a lot of good things about Arknights. Then I see that shit is a gacha tower defense game. I'm out. I'm good, potato chip. Yeah, I'm good. That shit is not for me. This game came out, and it looked interesting. Truth be told, I was expecting a bit of a Genshin clone. Yo, I'm sorry, I had to. And I was pleasantly surprised. Let's go over here. This is the most unoptimized factory you will ever see in your fucking life. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't play factory games at all. I guess, yeah, we could do a tour. So that's my factory there. And so when I learned that this is like a factory game, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Sure, I'll give it a shot. And yeah, again, like so unoptimized, shit is clogged out the ass. I unlocked this, haven't used it yet. Still go. I don't even remember what the fuck I'm using these bottles for anymore. TBH. Pleasantly surprised by this game. I don't really know what to specifically talk about with it. I guess just my first impressions. Well, okay, actually, we can go back to when I said, like, I thought it would be kind of like a Genshin clone, Wilderness clone, that kind of thing. I'm glad it isn't. It feels like it is for the first few hours you play. And then you make your factory. And then you learn about how you end up getting your gear. And then you play the game. And it's like, oh, no. You were left pleasantly surprised. I guess for those of you who don't know what the fuck a factory game is, you farm resources outside. These resources get transported into your depot. Which I can access it. What button is it? Which is this? Valley 4 depot. These are all the things I have stored in here. Some of which from my backpack that I've just dumped in here, and then others, you know, like this ore has been moving up and down in numbers. That's because it gets mined, and I'm mining so much of it that, you know, I have essentially an infinite supply of it. In this case, I'm taking flowers, getting their seeds plucked, planting the flowers again. Some of the flowers return to the storage to be in like an infinite loop, and then the rest of the flowers get shredded along with this ore that gets refined and then molded into a bottle. Bottle plus powder equal drug. Very nice. Medicine, yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun figuring this out. I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot less of a gacha game than I was expecting it to be. I haven't spent money on this game. I don't plan on spending any money on this game. And so I finished chapter 1 of the story, which is kind of why I was like, you know what? I'm a bum. I'm not. Let me get this message done real quick, because that shit is pissing me off. Okay, I can fuck off. What was I saying before I interrupted myself? I don't remember. Oh yeah, no, okay, I remember. I was saying like, you know, if I'm going to be a bum, and if I'm not going to upload the Space and Time with You continuation, which again, look, it's downloaded, it's on my console, quite literally just because this game came out, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll record a video at night. Oh yeah, I'll record. You know, I could have recorded the video now instead of doing this, but that's how much I like this game. It's a lot of fun. That being said, like, if you are looking for a gacha game, I don't know if I'd recommend this game. The gacha system is anti-stupid, which is a good thing. The problem is that most gacha players are fucking brain dead. So, it kind of is against the principle of the game's category and its spirit that it brings forward. I guess I could talk about that, yeah. So what exactly do I mean by anti-stupid? You have a pity of 80, which is pretty universal amongst, like, these kind of similar action RPG gacha games. In this game, though, your 80 is always your pity is always a 50-50. Let's say you lose your 50-50, okay? You're guaranteed the rate-up character at 120 pulls. So you do 40 more, you're guaranteed. That doesn't carry over, though. So it's like, yeah, you kind of have to have 120. Or know you're going to get 120 for it to be worth it. Another thing that I think is kind of it's just kind of cringe how they do it, is the weapon banners. I'm not a fan of this. The only way to get that currency at the bottom is through just pulling. Like, just through doing wishes. So it's like, let's say you get the rate-up character super fucking early. You don't have a reason to keep pulling on that banner anymore. And congrats, you know, chartered headhunting banners. So this is going to last longer than the character's going to be here. Which is good, but again, it's still like, well, if you're not going for the other characters, then shit out luck. Which does kind of suck. So maybe they'll give an alternate way to get that currency. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about, like, map traversal too. It's walking, mostly. You don't have a glider. You do have, if I can find one, which there is one over here. Zip lines, which is fun. You can connect them all over the place. I haven't built any, I've just been using ones that people have left, which is another thing. People can just leave stuff. You know, not necessarily in your world, but just in general. And then it'll end up in your world. Like over here. All these messages. Unless they all disappeared. Well, they all disappeared. When I was playing, there were like a bunch of messages left here. That were like, go in water. It's lucky. And then when you go in water, you die. It was fucking awesome seeing essentially just the modern day Dark Souls. Fuck, what? I don't remember what they're. It's been years since I've played. No, it hasn't been years since I've played a Dark Souls game. I'm fucking lying. But you guys get what I mean. Like, you know, try finger butthole. Right? That classic phrase from Dark Souls with the messages on the bottom. And that was really cool. So that's kind of another neat thing about it. Story, I'm not the biggest fan of, as the kids call it these days, amnesia slop, where your MC has amnesia and is also just like God. Not a fan of that. Wasn't really the biggest fan of it when Wuthering Waves did it. Still not a big fan of it with Enfield. Music, it's grown on me. The music's not bad at all. But so far there hasn't been anything that's been like super whoa that stands out to me. An example of this is if any of you guys have played Genshin Impact and you've been to Stormtear's Lair. When I heard that shit for the first time, I was like, whoa. Like, I had to stop. There is a boss that you fight. It's the boss that you fight at the end of Chapter 1. That theme, that's pretty good. That's about it, though. So, not really, like, a bad thing either. It's just, music's good. But it doesn't hit me with that oomph feel, I guess. Okay. Another thing you're going to need to look out for if you start this game are the tutorials. Jesus fucking Christ. There are a ton of them, which some of them I don't think are bad, right? Because with the factory stuff, it can get pretty overwhelming. That's why I haven't really expanded mine at all, despite having all this space here. But like, it gets overwhelming. And so having the tutorials for that is really nice. You also, though, just, like, have a book. You have, an item thing, so, like, if you need to craft, batteries, you go to source, and it just gives you the recipe of what to do. So, like, you don't really need a full, must press X when we tell you to, or none of your inputs work thing. Which is kind of annoying. Yeah, okay. This is what I was talking about, these memo beacons, where if we go here, we go to source. Yeah, that's just another player. Which is really neat. I'm a fan of this. So yeah, the tutorials are one thing. The traversal can be kind of another thing. One big thing is spreading your influence. I'll call it that. I won't call it colonizing. Spreading. We're the good guys. Truth nuke. So I won't call it that. Where you spread power around to, well, power things like these automatic mining rig or electric mining rigs. Use energy from the pylon. Boom, to activate the pylon, you connect it to your base. And so that's what all of these relay towers are for. So, this is all spread out here. Same with this, right? And yeah, that's just a thing to be aware of, that, if you're going through the main quest and you're not leaving behind towers, you should. You don't need to always do it, but, you are going to eventually backtrack to, like, mines that you missed, to put shit in. And that's just important. Okay, so what did I touch on? Music, movement, oh yeah, combat, okay. I guess, actually, I am in need of materials. I feel like I mostly just want to get XP books now. I'll get you to 51, sure.
My fighting spirit has been...
Oh, you can pick your reward. That's kind of neat. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this.
Let me see.
My ping is kind of high, so it's going to be cooked. But no, yeah, I like the combat of the game. I guess just going into it so I can kind of explain the point of this team. You care about it's a debuff called vulnerability. The red-haired girl and the black-haired girl are going to apply that in the form of different debuffs called... I don't remember what they're called, but they're different, but they apply the same thing. This girl heals, this guy does damage. You can play any of the characters. I tend to just stick to one. I'm probably going to need to learn how to, like, actually swap between stuff. But that can be a different time. I don't care. Let's just go into it. No, actually, yeah, let me explain the combat stuff. So, yeah, you press, if you look on the right, you press for the battle skill. So that says battle skill. And each battle skill uses an SP bar, which were the yellow things that you guys just saw briefly. And then the ultimates just have an energy cost. I don't really know how that works.